And
Is it lands typically slow?
lands is very, very glacial to win the game. But when I actually watched his one of the matches I watched it was him playing against a Reanimator deck, and they finished the first two games in 20 minutes.
Excellent.
Yeah, Billy, pretty competent, pretty quick pace pilot. So,
How does Todd's deck match up against lands?
all right. So basically, Billy's for those of you who don't know what a lands deck does, um, ideal start is an expert. Ideally, it has an exploration in play, and it's going to dredge and cast Life from the Loam every turn. And then it has this somewhere between 35 and 42 lands, somewhere in the range, over 30,
Okay.
well over 30 lands. And just wants to put various things. He has Talaria West can get the correct land for the situation. Plays Maze of Ith. It's a very mana denial heavy deck. It plays both Wasteland and Wishing Import.
Okay, excellent.
So Todd is often going to struggle against Billy's mana advantage.
So Todd really has to get that threat out early
Right.
in order to take advantage of it.
Yeah. Intuition can also set up Life from the Loam plus 2 lands that he wants in play. There's like a Glacial Chasm, a Tabernacle, Pendle Veil. Maze of Ith. I'll run down some singles. A Bajuka Bug, an Academy Ruins, a Caracas. Things like creeping. There are 2 creeping tar pits. That's the primary way Billy wins.
Yeah, it's amazing how some of these lands are, and some of the things in there are some of the best of history. Things like you see Zorn's Orb and other lands like that you don't normally see unless you've played Magic for quite a long time.
Yeah. So that being thing like Mox Diamond is also one of Billy's better cards. Todd has a bunch of soft counter spells. Rug Delver is a very tempo-oriented deck. They want to wasteland their opponent.
Yes.
However, Billy's wasteland's not very good against a deck with a million lands.
So it'll be interesting to see how Todd handles the situation here.
Yeah, a lot of Todd's soft counters are he has Daze, he has Stifle, and he has Flusterstorm instead of Spell Pierce because he wants his Nimbagus Elementals to be good.
Yeah, if Bill gets Engineered Explosives out there, that could be.
Yeah, he
really
has
bad.
2 copies of that card. It also plays an artifact sub-theme. Academy Ruins can recur, like Zern Orb and Engineered Explosives can be tutored up by the Talaria West. And then there's an Oblivion Stone and a Snaring Bridge, a Pithing Needle. These are things like sometimes your intuition pile might be Academy Ruins, an artifact you want, and Life from the Loam.
Okay, turn 1 by Todd Anderson, and there it is. Niz Magnus Elemental out there right away. All right. Todd will Gataxian Probe and figure out immediately that Bill is playing a lands deck.
Oh wow, he's moving in.
Okay, he's going to daze himself to put counters on right away. Takes up to 4 counters.
So he's turn 1, 5, 6.
Go.
It costs him lots of cards and things like that. But yeah. Also, when Billy plays a turn 1 forest, he knows he's probably safe from a lot of removal. But it turns out exploration from Billy and a Maze of Ith. So Billy has quite the excellent answer. He's going to get his Maze of Ith wastelanded.
Todd swings in for 5,
Mm-hmm.
taking Bill down to 15. Now, if this deck version of Rug Delver can do really well today, I think we might be wanting to add Niz Magnus Elemental to the list of your top 5 cards this weekend.
Oh, so we're going to play 2 lands. He's going to try and Life from the Loam back his Maze of Ith. And Billy's going to use a die on exploration, basically say how many lands he's played in a turn.
Okay.
Todd is going to be very aggressive.
Force of Will. believe that's the engineered explosives.
And the explosives for one. It'll take out the Niv Magus Elemental if need be, but more importantly just as importantly, it will take out his Exploration, which is not a card that Todd really wants. So Billy's going to dredge back his life from the loam.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Billy's being a big meanie face, not putting his graveyard just out of our reach.
Okay.
So he brings back, it looks like 2 Mazovits. Yeah, 2 Mazovits, uses his Exploration. So now he doesn't need to blow the engineered explosives because he just has the coverage on
Tarmogoyf.
Oh yeah, obviously more dredging. What we can do here is Wasteland Todd first. Yeah, there you go. So can't quite see. I know the top card is a Mana Bond, not a card Billy wants in his graveyard, but doesn't really need it in his hand either. So Verdant Catacombs and Talaria West.
Okay.
So yeah, Billy sees the Wasteland play. Life and Loam returns his Wasteland, his Talaria West, and the card below it. Whatever that is. So yeah, Billy sets Todd to 0 lands.
Nope, and Todd
Todd's just gonna concede game 1. His all in play. Got Billy to 10, but Todd needed 4 attacks, and only got 2 in.
Okay, so what is Todd gonna bring in against the lands deck to go? He's got 2 Envelop, 4 Graph Digger Cage, 4 Submerge, 2 Red Elemental Blast, and 3 Rough and Tumbles.
I'm gonna anti-shout out Todd Anderson here for calling his envelopes. He spelled it with an E. Shame on you, Todd. But
Judge, right?
Unfortunately for Todd, there is no magic card called envelope.
Well, I like envelope because then
you can send letters in them.
Well, you can write the check and put the check in the envelope, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no. Bad humor. Sorry about that, everybody.
But no, Envelope might be a little better than some of his cards. The only card it counters is Life from the Loam, so it's not that good. But I actually think Todd should actually just shuffle up his 60 cards and see if he can do something better with game 2.
Yeah.
Billy, on the other hand, has a really big breaker for the matchup. He has 4 Chalice of the Void.
Yeah.
If he can get down a Chalice of the Void, Todd's very 1-drop heavy deck will basically fold. One cute interaction is that if Todd has a Niv Magus Elemental in play,
Yes.
and Billy has a Chalice of the Void in play,
Yeah.
Todd can still cast his 1-drop spell. With the Chalice counter trigger on the stack, Todd can exile it. So Todd can still exile Niv Magus Elementals. Another card that Billy may want, but I believe he's not going to opt for is Trinisphere.
Okay.
Trinisphere makes... Todd doesn't want to play a 3rd land very often. And to make Todd play 3 mana for any of his spells might be a little too backbreaking. Yeah, other than that, like... The thing about the lands deck is that when you want to bring in Chalice of the Void or Trinisphere, things like that, you have to take out other cards.
And his cards are really good.
Well, not just that. It's like you often have to take out lands. There's not too many spell slots in the deck, and they're all very important.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people shave an Intuition. Like there's a card like Oblivion Stone that I don't think is going to be very good for Billy. Or like his Raven's Crime. He has a Raven's Crime in his deck. Not the matchup for it, but Pithing Needle he's got a couple cards that he can definitely bring out for the Chalice of the Voids, but past that, he may not have enough to bring in.
So we'll say that both these guys pretty much, if safe to say, they could play their same 60.
For the most part, Billy
61,
definitely.
I'm sorry. 61.
Yeah, Billy's committing the cardinal sin of playing 61 cards.
Well,
So a little anti-shout out to both of them. No, I mean, Billy has some shaving to do. So he's got some singleton tutor targets that aren't good that he can take out for some Chalice of the Voids. Like, for example, like he doesn't need his Caracas, or I mean his Bajuka Ball can be okay against, like, say, a Nimble Mongoose, or maybe, but there's no Nimble Mongoose.
No Mongoose in his deck.
He's got Niv Megas Elemental
But
instead.
you would think if you were playing this deck, Nimble Mongoose would have been a part of the deck.
Well, if you're Billy and saying, all right, so my Rug opponent, I don't know what's in his deck for sure, but there's definitely a Niv Magus Elemental. Are those additional creatures, or did those replace something?
Yeah.
And they didn't replace Tarmogoyf because Todd played one of those.
Yeah.
So, most likely card is Nimble Mongoose, because
Yeah.
Delver Seekers was certainly not replaced.
No.
That card's the best ever.
No. I like the one of Sylvan Library.
Yeah,
Todd.
Todd's been a fan of, like, playing 2 in a lot of his Rug decks. He played 2 at the Invitational, said it was one of his best cards. So looks like after Mulligan, Todd's has six cards. Looks to be pretty good for him.
Okay.
Leads off with a Cataxian Probe.
Well, he figures since life isn't really Todd's biggest issue right now, seeing what his hand is, we are going to get...
Maze of Ith by Wasteland.
Yeah.
Academy runs the aforementioned Chalice of the Void. A card with a lot of glare on it and a tropical island. It looks like a Rishid import, I believe, but I've been wrong before.
That Chalice of the Void. Nice draw for Bill. All right. Todd's down to 18.
Yeah, I'm down to 18, and looks like he has 3 lands in hand. He has a Brainstorm, 4 lands. That's a Wasteland.
Yep.
That's a lot of lands. He also has a Stifle. So he's 4 lands, Stifle, Brainstorm.
And I believe Bill drew a Maze of Ith. Another one, so that would give him 2.
So, interesting play by Todd. Not stifling the Wasteland. He does have extra lands in play, but I'm not sure what Todd's hoping to stifle, or maybe he just wants to shuffle a card back in. And Todd thinks about brainstorming correctly, decides to just go to his turn. He does have a Wasteland.
Okay, Misty Rainforest.
So, but he decides to go with Misty Rainforest. I believe we're going to see a Brainstorm from Todd Anderson. Some Volcanic Island's going to start us off.
Which probably will be met soon enough by a Wasteland. I believe you said he had one in his hand, correct? Bill's hand?
He used 1.
Okay.
Not sure if he has a second one. It's a Rishid import.
Okay, it's a Rishid import.
He's also
okay.
picked up a Life from the Loam in the meantime. So Billy's got quite an excellent hand. If a little slow, he doesn't have the accelerators. He does not have either Mox Diamond, Exploration, or Mana Bond. Mana Bond would actually be his best draw possible here.
Okay.
Mana Bond is an enchantment, 1 green. At the end of the turn, you can put all the lands. You can discard your hand, but
Yep.
put all the lands into play.
Yes.
So he would put all of his lands into play and discard a Life from the Loam. And he would be able to just do that for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, that's the perfect scenario for him when it comes to that.
So that's a Creeping Tar Pit.
There's his offense right there.
Yeah, he doesn't quite need that one yet, but he's happy to have it. He's also going to play around Days here, which I like. I might have played the Rishid import to tap a land, but you can see an argument for playing the Creeping Tar Pit here as well.
You wouldn't want to hold it for a little bit till you had more control of the board?
No, cards in his graveyard are relatively... If Todd would Wasteland the Creeping Tar Pit,
Yeah.
Billy can just get it back with Life from the Loam.
Okay.
So, yeah, Billy's not like... it's not like a Morphling he's trying to protect, where he only wants to play it when he can actually devote resources to protect it. His kill condition, basically, which is his tar pit, is pretty safe.
All right, so Todd will pass back.
Todd did not play his Wasteland.
There is Bill's Wasteland.
Oh. So we're going to see Life from the Loam on the one Wasteland. Billy is playing around Daze.
Which Todd does have in his hand.
Yeah.
Along with 2 Force of Wills.
Yeah. If I was Billy, slight misstep there. Wait till Todd's upkeep to Wasteland, because then Todd has to devote a mana to Stifle.
Yeah.
But now he just gets to Stifle and then untap. I don't think it's going to cost Billy anything, but since I don't think Todd can cast a spell, basically.
Well, he has another Stifle. He has another Stifle.
Yeah, it's a Stifle, a Daze, 2 Forces, and a Flusterstorm. So, I mean, Todd has the option of he really doesn't want to. He really wants to get milk his value out of his Wasteland, and he doesn't want to put his Wasteland into play.
Okay, there's the and from the dredge from the Life of the Loam, and he will cast it again.
Yep. So he dredged a Tranquil Thicket, and he previously had a Wasteland already in his graveyard. All right. So Flusterstorm. Storm is 2. There's 2 copies of Flusterstorm. 1 for the Life of the Loam, 1 from the Flusterstorm itself. So that makes Billy pay 2. He does not have 2. Once again, he's going to get Stifled.
Well, at least it doesn't hurt Bill as much as you would think normally. That's all he's got to do is Life from the Loam and bring it back. Okay.
Yeah, so Todd's going for the throat. Billy does have another green source. And so milling Ensnaring Bridge, Bayou, and Creeping Tar Pit number 2. So basically, I'm just going to keep casting this Life from the Loam over and over until it finally resolves. And he's more than fine with this.
Daze.
So Daze from Todd Anderson. Todd could hardcast it, but it's actually better for him to play the return the land in case if Todd draws a Brainstorm, he can Brainstorm and then put the land back if he just so desires before shuffling. So Billy's going to play around further Dazes. He's going to play the Loam, play his Wishing Import first. So Todd's still on the counter all your Life from the Loam plan.
Yeah, Todd has another fetch land here. Okay, Life. Search for an island or a swamp. Okay, Todd could use one of his 2 Force of Wills on this, if he so chooses. Todd looking through the graveyard. I mean, if you play a lot of Legacy, you'll know the lands deck. But how many different variable numbers of the lands are in normally these decks? Is there a big variance, a small variance?
You can basically play. There are a couple cards you need to have at least 1 copy of. You need to have at least 1 copy of some of the 0 mana artifacts and some of the. So you need to have like an Academy Ruins. You need to have a Tabernacle. And you need to have Glacial Chasm, super important against some decks. But like something like an Oblivion Stone, a Raven's Crime, and Snaring Bridge, a Pithing Needle, those are like the variables. There's probably like 50 cards out of 60 that you're locked in on.
All right. So the reason why is if you run into this at your local Legacy event or an SCG event, at least you'll have an idea of what you're going to face and what you should expect to face in the show. Because, like you said, there's a scoop, and congratulations.
Yeah, Todd Anderson just kind of gets nothing going there. Bill has basically demonstrated that he's going to lock Todd out of the game. Basically, how he's going to do that, he's going to recur Life from the Loam, recur Wasteland with Life from the Loam, often enough that he will basically Todd will eventually.